Today, we're really plunging into the architecture of complexity, specifically how a normal disagreement can, spiral into what's called high conflict.
That really destructive us versus them feud.
Exactly. And our mission for you is to see the cognitive traps that lock us in and maybe find the keys to get back out.
Well, it all starts with what our sources call binary bias. It's this really powerful impulse the mind has.
To simplify everything.
Yeah, to take any complex spectrum of ideas and just crush it into two opposing categories. Good versus evil, right versus wrong.
And once that happens, any chance for productive dialogue is just, it's gone.
It shuts down instantly.
That simplification is so tempting. It's the ultimate comfort zone, but
it's a disaster for growth. When we get stuck in that trap, we enter what's called the overconfidence cycle.
Which is all about pride, right? Certainty.
Exactly. You get entrenched, you stop looking for the truth, and you just start looking for validation.
So what's the escape hatch?
The only way out is the rethinking cycle. And the key thing here is that it doesn't start with knowledge. It actually starts with doubt.
With intellectual humility.
Right. That doubt sparks curiosity, and curiosity is what actually drives discovery. If you aren't willing to question yourself, you're just stuck.
Okay, so here's the twist. We often think people ignore facts because, well, they just don't know them.
Out of ignorance, yeah.
But our sources show it's way more motivated than that. It's driven by desirability bias. We believe what we want to believe.
I mean, it's a deep human need, especially when our identity is tied up in it.
And this is perfectly shown by the concept of solution aversion.
Yes. This is where people will deny a problem even exists, simply because they hate the proposed solution.
So they're not rejecting the science?
No, not really. They're rejecting the policy implications that come with it. It feels threatening to them, ideologically.
And get this. The research backs this up in a huge way.
The climate change study.
Yeah. Experimental evidence showed that agreement with climate science among Republicans jumped from 22% all the way to 55%.
A massive leap.
And the only thing that changed was the solution. When it was more government regulation, skepticism was high.
But when it was framed as free market innovation?
Acceptance more than doubled. It's incredible.
So what's fascinating there is that the skepticism was never really about the data itself. It was a motivated response to protect their worldview.
Okay, so if binary thinking is the disease, complexity has to be the antidote.
It is. The strategy is to actively complicate the narratives.
But how do you actually do that in a heated argument without just fighting back?
Well, you use specific tools. One is called spectrification.
Which means you consciously move beyond the simple pro versus con and try to find at least 6 distinct, nuanced perspectives on the issue.
Exactly. It just shatters that dualistic frame.
And I love this other tool, looping.
Yeah. Looping is so powerful.
It's the act of, distilling what your opponent is saying, the feeling and the content, and then playing it back to them until they feel truly heard.
Until they can say, yes, that's it. It builds the trust you need for them to actually listen to you.
And our sources warn that trying to make a story perfectly coherent, one side is pure good, the other pure evil.
That's actually narrative malpractice. True accuracy has to include the contradictions, the ambiguities, the cracks in every story.
Let's connect this to the professional world, because this feels so counterintuitive for leadership.
Oh, definitely. We're taught that leaders need to project absolute certainty to build trust.
But the research suggests the opposite. The calibration hypothesis shows that admitting what you don't know, calibrated uncertainty, actually makes you more credible in the long run.
It's so crucial for your business, too. Think about your relationship with consumers. 88% of them say trust is a key factor in their buying decisions.
Wow.
And get this, 87% would pay a 25% premium for a product from a brand they actually trust. That trust is built on vulnerability, not perfection.
So as a manager, what does this look like?
It means you should be actively encouraging good conflict, what's called task conflict. That's disagreement about the decision itself.
While stamping out the destructive kind.
Right, the relationship conflict. That's personal. And to do that, leaders need to shift into what's called scientist mode.
Meaning you lead with questions, not answers.
And you build a challenge network, people whose job it is to point out your blind spots, instead of just a support network of people who agree with you.
So boiling this all down for you, the individual, what's the final takeaway? It seems like mental fitness isn't about consistency.
Not at all. It's about anchoring your sense of self and flexibility. The ability to unlearn something is probably the most critical skill.
And to connect that to our personal behavior, we should all be aiming for what one source calls inverse charisma.
I love that term. It's the magnetic quality of a great listener, someone who is more interested in finding the truth than in getting validation.
We've spent so much energy trying to prove we're right. So we want you to try the opposite this week. What specific belief one you hold as totally certain right now are you willing to doubt? Just to see what a new, more complicated perspective looks like. That's something to think about.